In a pastoral situation, one time this elderly woman came in to talk to me. She's not from this parish, so we can confidently talk behind her back. Basically what happened, she came in and she was lamenting the fact that the world can often be really cruel, which it can be. Nasty, brutish, and short, to quote Hobbes, right? And what's interesting is that she wasn't just saying, okay, this is a painful thing. She was making that logical leap to the lie we often tell ourselves. And so this is something which is infinitely relatable. This is why I feel confident sharing this example, because it could be any one of us, right? So what she said was that, I feel like recurrently people are dismissing me, they're being cruel, they're being mean, because I'm old, because I'm poor, and because I'm a widow. And so it's because of some deficiency in terms of who I am, or perhaps what I'm not, that's the reason why people are so mean and so cruel. So it's my fault that I'm not being loved in the way that I should be loved, in the way I need to be loved. And I remember in the moment I said to her, you know what, obviously that's a lie. I can prove it in a second, right? Could just think it through. It could easily be the opposite. So easily someone could say, you know what, I'm going to be really and especially nice and kind to this person because they're old, because they're poor, because they're a widow, right? So you didn't cause this person to be mean and cruel. In the same way when someone's nice to you, you didn't cause that either, right? Who knows why people do the things that they do? But what's really important is that you never make that logical leap that because I've been unloved in a circumstance, therefore I'm unlovable. Who you are at all times is a beloved child of God. Beloved, cherished, intrinsic dignity. God is crazy about you, whether or not people affirm you in that essential sense of identity and self-worth. I want to end with a final example. This is something I saw on YouTube. It's a cartoon, actually. I'm not even sure if it's a movie or a TV show, but I know it's relevant. So it was a clip involving Batman and Superman. Batman became Batman as a result of the death of his parents, so perpetual act of revenge and vengeance and all these things, working in shadows. And Superman is the very embodiment of hope, right? So he's the very icon of what it means to be a superhero. Anyways, in the context of this clip, what happened was that one of Batman's chief rivals, Poison Ivy, she has this hypnotic lipstick, right? And so she kisses Superman, and he's in a trance, and so now he's doing all sorts of evil and nefarious things because he's been hypnotized. And Batman, along with his recurring co-star Catwoman, they're trying to think of a way to snap him out of it. So first of all, they try to talk him out of it. That doesn't work. And then all of a sudden, Batman decides to pull out the stops. So what he does, he has Catwoman take Lois Lane, who's obviously Superman's love interest, puts her at the top of a building, pushes her off. And this creates a small dilemma in the heart of Superman. What's going to win out? What's going to win out? The inclination towards the good or the inclination towards evil and wicked things? And obviously, because of Superman, the inclination towards good wins out. He rescues Lois Lane. She's safe. He's snapped out of the trance. But then he goes to Batman. And he's like, okay, well, thank you. That worked. But it easily could have gone bad. Right? So why'd you do that? Why? And he doesn't really answer. He kind of cops out. He doesn't really answer the question. He gets out of the Mexican standoff. But it alludes to something early on in the clip. So when he's in private, Batman with Catwoman, they're talking about the whole situation. And he says, it's going to work. It's going to work because deep down, Superman is good. And deep down, I'm not. So deep down, Superman is good. And deep down, I'm not. I remember watching it thinking wow, that's really cool. Pretty deep for a kid's show, but pretty awesome. Because it's a provocative thing, right? So when I look at myself, we'll put it back on you. When you look at yourself, how do you see yourself? Do you believe that at the end of the day, at your core, you are Superman? Or do you believe at the end of the day, at your core, you are Batman? Do you believe at the end of the day that you're good? Or do you believe at the end of the day, you are actually evil? It's a really important question to ask, right? Do I believe at my core that I'm intrinsically good? My heart is restless until it rests in the Lord. Yeah, I struggle with human weakness and concupiscence and desire and inclination towards sin, but my heart, again, is restless until it rests in the Lord. Or do I believe that at my core, I'm wicked and evil? And so I constantly need to live in tension. I need this spiritual concentration camp where I'm distracting myself and constantly keeping busy, and I have all these structures created out of fear and self-protection because I'm worried that if I let go, I will give into the darkness which corresponds to the deep desires of my heart. This is just a wild guess, but I think a lot of people believe that they're Batman. But in reality, every single one of you actually is Superman. You are good, and you are holy. And your deepest desires are for good and holy things. And so the invitation is to trust that. To trust in the person that God made to be, but also to trust in the work of the Holy Spirit. And therein lies the rub, right? When I let go, and I surrender to my true self, my deepest desires, you're not surrendering to the abyss. You're certainly not surrendering to the darkness, but you're certainly not surrendering to the abyss. What you're surrendering to is the person and the work of the Holy Spirit, with regards to which your body is a temple. And then you got to be clear about that. Your body is not a temple of the Holy Spirit in the sense that the Lord is coffee and I'm like a cup, right? The Holy Spirit is working in and through all your different faculties, your hopes, your dreams, your deep desires, your intellect, your imagination, leading you to become the person He's calling you to be, leading to the person that you want to be, leading to the fulfillment and realization of all your dreams and hopes and deep desires. But again, it comes down to a matter of trust. You gotta trust and believe me, friends, when I say that when you peel back the layers of the onion, you will not discover that, oh my goodness, my deep desires are for chips and porn. No. There's nothing to be afraid of. When you peel back the layers of the onion, you'll discover, oh my goodness, I am hopelessly in love with the Lord. It's a surprising thing, but it is true. And oh my goodness, He loves me too. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.